Good morning, Ultimate Hustlers. It is time to multiply money on this Monday morning on the Cortez Hustle Show. Super excited that you guys have decided to come hang out with me. We're talking 10 financial strategies for millennials. Man, what are you teaching your young adults about money? More importantly, what are you modeling in front of your young adults about money? Because as the saying goes, they will do what they see and not what you say. Welcome. Go ahead and click that link in the chat to share this show. Comment where you're from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand. If you're building something special, I want to give you a free business shout out and smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to give you the game plan that you need to give to your young adults. If you got kids in the millennial age bracket between 20 and the mid 30s, it's going down. So let me know where you're from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand, and let's kick it. Yo, what's up, Ultimate Hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network. And when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, also known as the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur from myperfectmoneyplan.com. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know where to go, what to look for to get double-digit returns on your money, you need to check out myperfectmoneyplan.com. Getting double-digit returns on your money means your money could double every 4 to 5 years. If you look at the funds that we talk about in the My Perfect Money Plan Generational Wealth Master Class. Welcome. Let me know where you're from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand. If you're building something special, I would love to see what you guys got going on. We're talking 10 financial strategies for our millennials. How many of you guys got young adults in your life, whether they're your own children or whether they are children in your community, nieces, nephews? We're talking 20 to early 30s, right? These guys have got to figure some things out financially, and we want to help them get off to a great start. Some things that I've been drilling into my sons here lately. I have sons right in that age bracket. My youngest is 19. My oldest is 28. And I'm trying to help them get their money right so they can get out of dad's pockets, right? That's what we're talking about today. So make sure you smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen. Chances are there are some people on your timeline who's got grown children, and they're trying to make sure that they are on the right track financially as well. A couple quick announcements before we get started. Well, really only one quick announcement. Listen, I started and launched the Instant Authority Blueprint, which is what you're going to use to build authority in your brand, ladies and gentlemen. I got 8 slots left for beta testing this new program where I'm literally going to help you become a published author in 21 days. That's right. It's 21 days to launch a book. Even if you hate writing and don't have any fancy degrees, or even if you failed English in school, we're going to teach you how to build an authority brand around your book so you can attract new clients and new opportunities to you every single day. Even if you have 0 followers right now, we're also going to teach you how to build an automated sales machine to market and sell that book on autopilot without you having to have a whole bunch of tech skills. So if you've ever thought about becoming a published author, then I want you to comment publish so that I can shoot you over the link to go get all the details and book an appointment on my calendar. Guys, I'm beta testing this program, meaning it's not going to be at the regular price. I mean, if I made this any less expensive, it would be free, right? So really, really deep discount for those of you who want to become a published author to accelerate and explode your brand. Go to workwithcortez.com/publish. There's 8 slots left. We actually officially start on September the 7th. So you got time to get on the calendar. Let me see what you guys got in terms of a book project. Can I help you? Can we work together? Does this program work for you? And we will take it from there. We're talking 10 financial strategies for millennials. What are young people going to do to get their money right? Before we go all the way in, y'all know I like to start the show with the quote of the day. And today's quote comes from the great, the legend, Les Brown. The more you do, the more you realize you can do. This is why I'm such an action taker, and I believe in taking action even when you don't have all the answers, ladies and gentlemen. He says, the more you do, the more you realize you can do. Guys, do not let fear paralyze you to not taking action. Don't let fear paralyze you to not making a decision, to do stuff, to step out, to move forward in your life. So many people get bogged down with fear, and you cannot do that, because when you take one step, you'll realize that you can take another step. And when you take that other step, you'll realize you can take another step. And here's what's cool. The more you do, the more you realize you can do. Eventually, you'll get so far away from the start that you'll look back and be like, there's no way I can quit now, because I've come too far. But you got to get started, ladies and gentlemen. You got to take that initial step. And you cannot, I repeat, you cannot let fear paralyze you, my friends. So again, the more you do, the more you realize you can do. And that is the great Les Brown. That is 1 minute motor. That is the quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. And quote of the day is brought to you by myoilsclub.com. Check it out. If you're looking for premium essential oils loaded with all natural healing botanicals, look no further than myoilsclub.com. These amazing facial oils will help create radiant skin while reducing wrinkles and pumping your skin better than Botox. Ciao Bellissima is a magic body oil that reduces stretch marks and scars, and it's great for new moms. Give your body that golden glow and be the belle at the beach on your next vacation. HairRx is a potent hair restoration oil that revives dead follicles and stimulates hair growth in as little as 6 weeks. Quality products from a quality brand, because you deserve it. Like and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at My Oils Club. Luxury organic beauty and home products for those who won't compromise on quality. Nourish, hydrate, radiate. myoilsclub.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. Y'all make sure y'all show some love to our sponsors. They're the reason that we can continue to bring you this show. And it doesn't cost you anything for all the game that I'm going to drop on you. One thing I like about myoilsclub.com is that everything is certified organic, vegan, paraben free. They don't test their stuff on animals. So you got to check out myoilsclub.com. They even have an O Club monthly subscription box where you can save 15%. And y'all know how I do, man. If you support any of our sponsors with a purchase of $100 or more, I'm going to bless you with a free vacation voucher. You can go to Hawaii. You can go to Orlando. You can go to Vegas. A lot of different places that you can go to. When you show love to my sponsors, I show you love. myoilsclub.com. Please go check it out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about 10 financial strategies for our millennials. Now, let me be clear. This is for millennials, but most of us have never learned these strategies ourselves either. So they're probably for us. And like I said at the beginning of the show, it's not what you're telling your children. It's what are you modeling in front of your children. And I've been having this conversation with my sons lately. They've gotten into adulthood, and I'm bringing them into my business and into understanding online marketing and how to make money on their own and those sorts of things. So obviously, we can't talk about making money online without talking about what to do with the money that you are making. So on Multiply Money Mondays, it's all about financial literacy, economic empowerment. And today we're focusing on our young folks. But be honest with yourself. If you're not doing these things for yourself, then let's get these things implemented in your world as well. 10 crucial financial steps or strategies for millennials. There are many advantages to being in your 20s and early 30s. One of those advantages are you can build a foundation to ensure your financial success for a lifetime. I am blessed. My sons are 19 and the oldest is 28. It's 5 of those jokers, right? Right now, none of them have any children. So I'm trying to really beat into their heads. Yeah, you don't have any responsibilities outside of feeding, clothing, and sheltering yourself. But this isn't the time to just solely have a whole bunch of fun. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't, right? One of my sons was out in LA for a week, just kicking it, right? And I'm like, that's cool. But this is also a time for you to build and lay your financial foundation, right? The decision you make now have a tremendous amount of influence over your future. Make the effort to ensure that you're making wise choices. The earlier you can take advantage of these strategies, the better. Number 1 on the list is create an emergency fund. Had this conversation with my middle son, who is 23, I believe. With my middle son just yesterday. Alternator went out in this truck. Guess who had to come to the rescue, right? So we go and we sit down, and I was just saying, listen, man, this is why you create an emergency fund, because the difference between an emergency and an inconvenience is your emergency fund. When you got money to take care of these things, it's not an emergency, it's an inconvenience, right? I was out, I had plans to get my content calendar together yesterday, but his car was stuck in a kind of awkward place. So I had to go take care of that, and that threw my schedule off. Now, it was an inconvenience because it threw my schedule off, right? But it wasn't an emergency because at the time we actually had the money, and it was, a couple $100 to get a new alternator and get it replaced. But that was a perfect time for me to drill into him why you need an emergency fund. So you don't have to call me, bro. Something wrong with your car. Take it, have them look at it. They're going to give you an estimate, and you go to your emergency fund, you get that estimate, and you pay it. And then the next thing that you do, you get paid, you start replenishing that emergency fund, right? So create an emergency fund. It only takes one minor financial catastrophe to affect your finances for many years, right? Ask me how I know. Because before having a few dollars set to the side to take care of stuff like this, if you're living paycheck to paycheck like I once was, I would literally have to go get a payday loan to get his car taken care of, right? Or encourage him to go get a payday loan to get his car taken care of. And if you're not careful, that literally can cost you for years. You might have to max out your credit card, which negatively affects your credit score. The additional monthly payment can make you late for other payments. Save a few months of living expenses, and you will be able to handle nearly anything. So for my millennials out there, my young folks, and my parents of young folks, teach your children as early as you can that financial literacy is important, but also make sure they understand the importance of having an emergency fund, right? Because that is critically important, ladies and gentlemen. So number 1 is having an emergency fund, right? Number 2 begin saving for retirement, right? Again, if they don't understand the importance of financial literacy, they may not even understand investing. They may not even understand saving for retirement, what that means. Come on, let's be honest. When you were in your 20s, were you thinking about retirement? When you were in your 20s, were you thinking about retirement? Chances are you wasn't. Why? Because when you're in your 20s, you think you're going to live forever, right? They even came up with a term, YOLO, you only live once. So for them, it means be reckless, be irresponsible, have as much fun as you can, as often as you can, because you only live once. Some of them even say, man, life is too short. Listen, man, life is short, but it's surprisingly long as well. Don't mess around and have all this fun in your 20s and 30s, and then in your 40s and 50s, you realize you're not prepared, right? So begin saving for retirement. Time really is on your side. I thought this was a very interesting statistic to keep in mind. Time really is on your side. You don't have to save much each month to retire in style if you get started early enough, right? If you get started early enough, you do not need to invest a lot. Like for me, where I am right now, to get to where I want to be, I'm 47 years old. If I'm looking at traditional retirement, to get to 65, what is that? 3 years, then 50 to 60 is 10, then 65, so 18 years. That means I literally have to put between $1,000 and $2,000 per month into an investment vehicle that's getting great returns in order to get to a decent retirement. My son, who's 19, he can put away $50 a month right now and be crazy straight by the time he's 47, right? You got to start early. We got to teach our children early. I saw a Facebook post just the other day where the guy said, listen, I just taught my baby about investing, right? Baby asked for a fruit snack. He said, listen, you can get one now, but if you wait until lunchtime, you get two. That's delayed gratification. That's investing the time value of money. In this case, the time value of fruit snacks, right? He taught the child, you can get this one now, or if you, in other words, if you let it grow, you can get two at lunchtime. I thought that was genius. But then he said immediately after after the kid made the decision to wait till lunchtime, the dad ate both the fruit snacks because of volatility, right? I thought that was pretty cool. But we got to start teaching our children about investing while they're young, about putting something somewhere that's going to allow it to grow at a later date. Most of us are struggling because we don't know how to delay gratification. We want what we want, and we want it right now. Watch this. Waiting 7 years will cut your eventual nest egg in half. So my son, who's 19, if he doesn't take dad's advice, when he's 27, he's going to cut his retirement in half, what he could potentially put together. I'm talking about traditional numbers. Take his dad out of the picture, take business out of the picture, right? The traditional average person who's trying to build their retirement through traditional investing mechanisms will cut their nest egg in half if they wait 7 years. So from 19 to 26, this is what he could be doing if he does not take this seriously. Waiting 14 years will cut it by 75%. This is why you got to get started right away, ladies and gentlemen. But they don't know to get started right away. If we're not modeling in front of them, if we're not letting them see our investment accounts, we're not letting them see that stuff grow, we're not making tough sacrifices and saying, hey, instead of buying the new car, I'm gonna buy the used car, then I'm gonna take this money and I'm gonna put it over here and see what happens. We gotta model this stuff in front of them, right? Kenny said that was a good analogy with the sweets. Yeah, man, I was blown away. I was like, man, that's dope. Start teaching your kids investing early, right? Ken, you can text investing to 314-874-6887. You want to have a private conversation, or you can go to myperfectmoneyplan.com, which also teaches you where to look and what to look for to get double-digit returns on your money. I literally show where you can get a fund that's paying 12%, 13%, and then one that's paying 16% for the last 40 years, right? But you got to be willing to invest time and take that master class about 45 minutes. Invest some time to learn financial literacy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now that time for 1 Minute Motivation. 1 Minute Motivation is where I play a short motivational clip. I ask you to give your takeaways. I'm going to give a couple takeaways, guys. There's nothing like putting positive information into your head every day, especially early, to get your day started. So this is why I love 1 Minute Motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. Let's kick it.
You don't know how young you are. What if you die in 2 years? You're pretty old right now. You got 2 years left. And if you're 50 years old and you're feeling discouraged, well, remember the advice about planting a tree. When's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago or today? So if you're 50 and you feel like life left you behind, well, get started right now. Better late than never. Better late than never. Don't think about time and age so much. It gets people distracted. When the whole world's distracted, you be focused.
You have to trust your own voice, your own ideas, your honesty, your vulnerability, and through this you will find your way. You do not have to be fearless. Just don't let fear stop you. Live like this as best you can, and I guarantee you will look back on a life well lived.
Hoo-wee. Man, what did y'all hear? I'm telling you, I heard some great stuff, man. Listen, he said, you don't know how young you are. I want y'all to really think about that, man. He said, you don't know how young you are. At 47, if I leave this earth at 50, I'm pretty old right now. Right? I want y'all to write this down in your notes, man. All life is time. That's all it is. That's all life is. It's time. What are you going to do with the time that you have in this life? Right? What else did he say? He says, man, when the whole world is distracted, you be focused. Man, ain't that a word for today? The whole world right now is distracted by COVID. Perfect time for you to get focused. The whole world is distracted. The whole world is distracted. When the whole world is distracted, you focus. You focus. See, a lot of y'all don't realize this about wealthy people. This is the time that they're making their moves. Going on right now, wealthy people have been waiting for the economy to contract. What I learn about wealthy people, and I know quite a few, and I'm learning as much as I can, I sit back and I watch them. One of the things they say is, Cortez, when everybody else is thinking contraction, we're thinking expansion. Right? When everybody else is thinking contraction, we're thinking expansion. And when everybody else is thinking expansion, we're thinking contraction. They're always doing the opposite of what everybody else is doing. Always. So while everybody else is freaking out, everybody else is distracted, they're laser focused. That's why the top 10, 20 billionaires in this country have added trillions to their net worth over the last 18 to 24 months, right? And he said, trust your voice. Don't be fearless, right? Don't be fearless. There's no such thing as being fearless. We all feel fear. The difference between people who are successful and those who are not is those who are successful felt the fear and they moved on anyway. Successful people let fear motivate them. Unsuccessful people let fear stop them. But we all feel fear. There's no such thing as fearless, y'all. The firefighter feels the fear, but he runs into the burning building anyway, trusting his instincts, trusting his training. He feels the fear, but he moves forward in spite of the fear. That, ladies and gentlemen, is 1 Minute Motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by Instant Authority Blueprint. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a coach consultant, if you are a online influencer, speaker, trainer, and you want to add some authority to your brand, the best way to do that is to become a published author. I've got a program called the 21 Days to Launch, where I can literally help you write and launch a book in 21 days or less, even if you hate writing. Then we help you build a brand around that book. And then we help you create an automated sales machine to help you market and sell that book, all in a 21 day process. All you got to do is go to workwithcortez.com/publish, workwithcortez.com/publish, and get all the details. Book a meeting on my calendar, and me and my team will talk to you about your book project and your brand and how this can help you take it to the next level. Now, back to our regularly scheduled programming, financial strategies for millennials, right? These actually are for everybody, but if you really want to get your children off to a great start, make sure they understand these 10 strategies. Strategy number 1 is they got to learn the process of creating and maintaining an emergency fund. Strategy number 2, they got to start investing while they're young, right? While they're young, they've got to get with investing. Planning for their retirement while they're young. There are lots of apps and technology that's specifically aimed at them that makes it easier for them to invest. Number 3, build positive credit history. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of those things where, again, my parents had no clue about being financially literate. Right. And it's no disrespect to them because they never learned it. And my parents before them didn't learn it either. Right. So when I went off to college, and I did spend a couple semesters in college before I officially dropped out. I tell everybody I checked out after 2 weeks. I dropped out after 2 semesters. But I remember being on a college campus and I'm getting ready to head into my dorm, and they've got the credit card guys out there. And the dude literally said to me, man, let me see if I can get you qualified for a credit card. I said, listen, man, I don't even have a job. He said, well, does your mom send you money from time to time? I said, yeah. He said, well, that's considered income. And he got me qualified for a $300 credit card. Now, I went to school at Lincoln University right in Jefferson City, Missouri. Jefferson City, Missouri is about 75 minutes from the Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri. And if you know anything about the Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri, it is one of the biggest and nicest outlet malls in the world. So that $300 credit card got burnt up almost immediately, and I had no clue about credit. All I knew is that somebody told me, man, if you don't pay that credit card bill, you're going to be in trouble. I said, what they going to do? They going to lock me up? He said, no, they're going to put it on your credit report. I said, what's that? It's kind of like a report card. It just tells people that you don't pay your bills. I'm like, but they're not going to come and lock me up. He said, no. I'm like, oh, man, well, get out of here with that. This is my mentality. This is what I was thinking. If I ain't going to jail and all you're going to do is put it on some stinking report, then I ain't worried about that. What I didn't know is that stinking report follows you your entire life. They didn't tell me that part. They just like, hey, man. And that report now is becoming increasingly more important. Guys, now do you realize the state that we are in right now, where a lot of people lost their jobs because of COVID? A lot of people lost their job because of COVID-19. Now, a lot of people are trying to get back into the workforce. Here's where credit comes in. A lot of those people do not realize that their credit is going to be checked before the employer makes their hiring decision, right? Their credit is going to be checked and it's going to contribute to the hiring decision. Now, the conspiracy theorist in me says that was part of the plan. Because think about it. If you got to check my credit before you hire me, and if my credit score is low, or I got negative things on my credit, which might say in your eyes that I'm irresponsible, now you got the perfect excuse not to hire me. Not realizing that the reason my credit is score low is because we went through a global pandemic. They don't care, because a lot of times they just got machines reading these documents and looking at this stuff and making these decisions. So you mean to tell me 50 million people lost their job? Because they lost their job, they had to leverage their credit cards. They had to get out personal loans, pay their loans, whatever they had to do to survive. That stuff took a negative toll on their credit. Now, as the economy starts to turn back around, you're going to look to hire people, but you're only going to hire people who got good credit. What does that do to the people who are at the very bottom of the totem pole? I'm just saying that may not be the case, but I'm just saying that the conspiracy theorist in me has got my ears up, and I'm paying attention to that. Build a positive credit history. If you ever want to purchase a car, home, or receive any other type of conventional financing, your credit history is important. Your credit score can affect many things, including purchasing a cell phone or even getting a job. Responsible use of credit cards or a credit card or two is the easiest way to accomplish this. A small loan from your bank is another simple option, right? I'll give y'all some game right now. We're talking to millennials, right? But we're talking about millennials, but I'm talking to the parents of millennials. One of the things that we've done to make sure that all of our kids have good credit is we put them on our credit cards early in life. So not only do they have a longer credit history, they have good credit as well. And the minute that they were able to borrow our credit, then we help them get credit cards in their own name. And we're teaching them how to manage those credit cards, right? So it's called being an authorized user. If you have a credit card that has a good credit line and you keep that credit line below 20%, then you should put all of your children on that credit card as authorized users, and that gets them to borrow your history. That gets them their first trade line on their credit, right? It's an authorized user. It's not the primary user spot, but it's better than nothing. And they start accumulating history. Now you put them on 2 or 3 cards, they get this history, then eventually it becomes easier for them to get their own first card as the primary user, right? This is how you build credit. Guys, you can do this when your children are 16 years old in high school. They do not have to have the credit card. You don't have to give them the credit card because you put them on as an authorized user. No, just put them on, and then the credit card is going to come to you. And they don't get access to the account. They just get access to the credit history. So now by the time they are 21, 22, 23 years old, graduating from college, they got a credit history of 7, 8, 9 years. Got to help them build the credit. Number 4, avoid consumer debt. It's a tough thing to do, man, because it's easy to finance just about everything. It's easy to finance just about everything. And I said earlier that our young people want everything right now, right? They want it right now. So because that's the mentality, and not just young people, everybody, nobody wants to save up for anything. I want it right now. Because of that impulsive decision, I'm willing to borrow money at a higher interest rate and pay 2 or 3 times what the thing that I want now is worth. Avoid consumer debt. Dealing with debt is akin to climbing a mountain with rocks in your backpack. Avoid purchasing items you cannot afford. Few stresses match the feeling of being heavily in debt. Even very wealthy people have accumulated more debt than they could manage. We got to make sure our young people know that it's better, even though they don't agree, it's better to pay for the $200 cell phone outright versus financing the $2,000 latest iPhone, Samsung, whatever, with all the bells and whistles, and they're going to add an additional $60 a month to your cell phone bill. We got to help them understand. Stay out of consumer debt. We want them to have established good credit. So that might mean that they get a credit card, a store charge card, or whatever. They got to understand that they need to keep those balances below 20%. It's our job. But what makes it easier for us to do our job is when we are already living that. We got to model this stuff in front of them, y'all. Number 5, consider a used car. A new car may seem like a mandatory purchase, but new cars are considerably more expensive than those just a few years old. Remember to avoid taking on too much debt. It's one of those things. Not only do they want everything now, they want everything to be new. Everything's got to be fly. No, man, not when you're young. Not when you're young. All 5 of my sons have their own car, and none of them have car notes. Now, on one hand, that could be a good thing. On another hand, that could be a bad thing, right? It could be the reason that they're not excited about making money online or making a ton of money because they have very little financial responsibilities, right? They have roommates and things of that nature, so it doesn't cost them a whole lot of money to live. Sometimes I think if they had a car note, they'd have to make more money and it will force them. But at the same time, I'm like, nah, you don't need that debt. You don't need that debt. So all of my sons have their own cars. They're reliable. They get them to and from work. They get them to, they fart around town, that kind of thing. So they don't have the burden of debt of a car note. Now, my son yesterday, alternator went out in his truck, $200 fix, right? Last month, he had to get a new tire, right? I was like $70. So $270 over 2 months, or he could be paying $270 to $500 every month for a car note. We got to help them understand this stuff, y'all. Number 6, examine your online presence. Your employment can be affected by your online presence. Look at all of your social media accounts and determine if your employer would be impressed. There's reasons why most working adults avoid Facebook. Give the impression that you're an intelligent, mature adult. This is something that people never even think about. Our young people especially, right? You never even think about, right? Think about all of the public situations where we've seen conflict happen, and then people immediately run to Facebook and see what this person's about, and they start sharing and things go viral, and all of a sudden somebody loses their job. Examine your online presence, right? It could affect you getting that dream job that finally pays a decent living wage. You never know, because these HR departments aren't obligated to tell you why they didn't hire you. So you mean to tell me that I've got the degree, I've got the qualifications, I've got the experience, I got the credentials, but two things that might be holding me back from getting the job that pays me the salary that I need to really take care of my family, get them out of, negative situations and that kind of stuff. You mean to tell me if my credit is bad, if my social media profile don't look right, or I got some posts out there where I'm, drinking and partying and having a good time, that could keep me from the job, the dream job that I want? Absolutely. Are we talking to our young adults about this? Right? Number 7. This is my favorite. Yeah, I know this is my favorite. Number 7. Start a second income. Start a second income. Now, this is for you too, you parents of millennials, right? Start a second income. We're going to get to that one in just one second, but I got to show some love to my sponsor, myoilsclub.com. So let me show some love to my sponsor, and then we're going to get all the way into that, because that's one of my favorite on this entire list. So show some love to my sponsor, myoilsclub.com.
If you're looking for premium essential oils loaded with all natural healing botanicals, look no further than myoilsclub.com. These amazing facial oils will help create radiant skin while reducing wrinkles and pumping your skin better than Botox. Ciao Bellissima is a magic body oil that reduces stretch marks and scars, and it's great for new moms. Give your body that golden glow and be the belle at the beach on your next vacation. HairRx is a potent hair restoration oil that revives dead follicles and stimulates hair growth in as little as 6 weeks. Quality products from a quality brand, because you deserve it. Like and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at My Oils Club. Luxury organic beauty and home products for those who won't compromise on quality. Nourish, hydrate, radiate. myoilsclub.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. Check out my sponsor, myoilsclub.com. One of the things I like about them, everything that they produce is certified organic, vegan, paraben-free. Also, none of their products are tested on animals. You can join the O Club monthly subscription and get a 15% discount. And y'all know how I do, man. When y'all show love to my sponsors, I show love to you. So any purchase over $100, you will also get a free vacation voucher from yours truly. All you got to do is inbox me a copy of your receipt or proof of purchase, myoilsclub.com. So we're talking about 10 financial strategies for millennials. We got down to number 7, which is one of my favorite. And this is why I met with my sons last night. We meet almost every Sunday to talk about our family wealth strategy. But let me just recap all of the other 6 real quick. If you got millennials in your life, you should be talking to them over and over and over again about creating an emergency fund, beginning to save for retirement while they are early. Talk to them about investing. If they wait 7 years to get started, they cut their nest egg in half. If they wait 14 years to get started, they cut their nest egg by 75%, right? Build positive credit history. If you have children that are young adults, put them on your positive credit cards as authorized user. That's going to help build their credit profile. Number 4, avoiding debt. Help them understand what consumer debt is really doing. Guys, the interest that we pay on our debts is money that we could be using to invest ourselves to earn interest. I want to say that again. The interest that we pay on our debts is the money that we could be using to earn interest to build a lifestyle for ourselves. So we've got to understand how to get these kids to start avoiding debt so they can take that money to start investing. Definitely have them consider a used car versus a new car, especially if they can save up and buy that used car cash. Now, if they have to get it financed, it's still going to be considerably cheaper. The car note is going to be less. Their insurance is going to be less. But if they can buy that thing cash, man, there's a lot of reliable vehicles out there. My son is in year number 3 in the truck that he bought from his cousin for $1,000. No, for $1,500. He bought a truck, 2002 Ford Explorer from his cousin for $1,500. Right. My other son is in year 4 of his car that he bought from a friend who sells used cars for like $4,500. Right. Pay cash. Right. Just saying. Examine your online presence. This is important, guys. Teach your young folks that everything ain't for the gram. Everything ain't for the book. I know it looks good, but as they start getting serious about career hunting, trust and believe that HR departments are going to your social media profiles to see what you're doing and what you're up to. Number 7, my favorite. Start a second income. One of the best ways to ensure that you always have an income is to have more than one income stream. It could be a second job or it could be a small online business. Remember to save some of it. Listen, guys, there's 4 ways that we make money. They only teach us about one, and that's by design. They teach us to go get a job. That's it. They teach us to go get a job. That's all they teach us. And there's nothing wrong with having a job. Don't ever think that I'm going to be bashing anybody who's got a job. Now, if you got a job only, then that's a conversation that we need to have, right? But I'm not bashing you because you have a job. I might have some strong, encouraging words that if you only have a job, if that's your only income, you're basically playing Russian roulette with your life. Yeah, I'm gonna say it again. If you only have a job income, you're basically playing Russian roulette with your life. My girl, Nikisha D. Smith, says all the time, when you give somebody permission to feed you, you also give them permission to starve you. That's what's happening when you have a job. You're giving your employer permission to feed you. And they can cut you off at any time, fire you, lay you off, reduce your hours, cut your pay at any time. Now you're giving them permission to starve you, right? So you can get paid by, or you can have an income stream that comes from a job. You should have a passive income stream. This is people who will save up money and buy a couple rental properties, and now they got some passive income stream. I want to tell y'all about digital real estate. That's another way to get passive income stream. This podcast actually becomes digital real estate for me, right? That means it's going to take up space on the internet, and whenever people hear it, they're going to hear about my perfect money plan, right? Our generational wealth masterclass. They're going to hear about my 21 days to launch program because that's what I'm talking about in this episode, right? So that's digital real estate that could be making me money all the time. You need some residual income in your life. How can you do something one time and get people to pay you over and over and over and over again for that one time? You need portfolio income in your life, right? Not necessarily cash flow from your portfolio, but you should have a portfolio that is growing and appreciating every month. You got dividend paying stocks, for instance, right? Now might not be the time for you to have the actual dividend check sent to you, have the dividend check reinvested. But you should be looking at those 4 ways of generating income. Use your labor, go work a job, nothing wrong with that. Use your intellect to create passive and residual income, and then make your money make money for you through portfolio income, right? Number 8, get insured. Protect yourself and your possessions. At the very least, have renter's insurance to cover your possessions and health insurance to protect you against catastrophic medical bills, and make sure you get some life insurance. Ladies and gentlemen, when you have life insurance, that is how you buy wealth. You can literally buy wealth with life insurance. There's 4 ways to acquire wealth. You can buy it, build it, steal it, or acquire or inherit it. Most of us don't have an inheritance coming, guys. So we either got to buy it or we got to build it or we got to steal it. Now, I ain't with stealing it, but let's be clear. We're in America. The whole doggone country was stolen. So let's be clear about that. You can't actually steal wealth, but what about buying or building it? You can take the money that you work for on your job. You take some of that money and you go buy you some wealth. Right? I can't wait to have Carmen and Darius on to come and talk about infinite banking. You literally buy life insurance that has a cash value. And that cash value grows over time and it gives you access to capital. You literally become your own bank. Right? Get insured. The other thing about getting insured when you're young, you never know what's going to happen. My wife right now struggles to get insurance because she had a stroke when my youngest son was when she was pregnant with my youngest son. That was 19 years ago. She's healthy as all get out today, but they're still holding that against her. So when you get insured when you're young, you can get different riders added to your policy that guarantees that you're insurable for the rest of your life, no matter what happens to you. Get insured while you're young, people. Number 9. Let me see. Number 9. Take advantage of your employer. What does that mean? Many employers offer many benefits. Ensure you're getting all you can get out of them. Listen, y'all. Listen. Your employer has literally included in your compensation package all sorts of bells and whistles that they hope you don't take advantage of so they don't have to pay for. Guys, take advantage of everything, starting with your 401k. Most companies who have a 401k have to have a matching program where they're going to match a percentage of what you put in. Guys, that's free money. Well, actually, it's not free money you're working for, right? Because if you don't work, you don't make money to put in. And if you don't put nothing in, they're not going to match, right? But if they are willing to match 5% of whatever you put in, or they're willing to match 100% of whatever you put in up to a certain level, a lot of times they'll say things like, we'll match dollar for dollar 100% of what you put in up to 5% of your salary. So what does that mean? If I put 5% of my salary in, they put 5% of my salary in, it's almost like I'm investing 10% of my salary every year. But again, if we're not modeling this for our children, if you as the parent is not taking advantage of your 401k and getting the match so you can show them and say, hey, listen, today we having money practice day. Today, we're going to look at mom and dad's 401k. I'm going to show y'all something, how you get free money from your job. And you sit them down and you say, hey, this is the money that I put in. This is the money that my company matched me. So this is the free money. And this is how this money is growing for us. Now, let's look at your company and let's see what 401k they have. Let's see how much they're willing to match. Let's see how we can construct your lifestyle in a way that you can put the most in, but not struggle financially. Are we having these types of conversations with our kids? Right? Read your employee handbook and talk to your HR department. They'll tell you about all of these bells and whistles that the company has for you. Number 10. Now, I am just really blessed with number 10, right? Number 10, consider waiting to start a family until you're financially stable. Like I said, got 5 sons, right? No grandchildren just yet, right? Kind of at the place where I'm like, man, all right, somebody got to start bringing some grandbabies around here. But I'm glad that they don't have any grandchildren right now, or they don't have any children right now giving me any grandchildren, because they're not stable as they can be financially. Heck, I'm not stable as I can be financially to be bringing grandchildren into the world, right? Here's my favorite saying. If you're born broke, that's not your fault. If you die broke, that is your fault. If your grandchildren are born broke, that too is your fault. You can't live in 2021, in this whole 21st century, in the last 25 years since the internet, there's no way you're living today in this era and you don't have something for your grandchildren. If not, you're just selfish. Why? Because all the information is there, y'all. All of the information is there. 80% of the information in the entire world can be accessed online. About 20% of it is classified, some high level stuff, right? But pretty much anything you want to know is available online for free. So for you not to know how to invest, shame on you. I did a show on how to buy your first stock. Go to thecortezhustleshow.com and type in stock in the search. I had Dr. Kelly on to talk about stock options. I had Latanya Deloach on to talk about crypto, credit, and cash flow, right? I had Hillary Seiler on just last Monday, talking about financial footwork. All of the information is out there, y'all. It's out there. So if you don't know how to invest, you don't know how to buy crypto, you don't know how to open a brokerage account, you don't know how to start an online business, shame on you. Because there's no reason for it. There's no reason for it. So consider waiting to start a family till you get financially stable. Getting married is easy, but staying married can be difficult. The failure to stay married can create many financial challenges, especially if you have kids. Even in secure marriages, children are expensive, let alone splitting up. And now somebody has to pay alimony and child support. Come on, y'all. Come on. When you're 30, you won't recognize your 22-year-old self. There's no hurry. Make a wise decision. Again, I'm blessed. I'm telling my sons, hey, man, there's some things that y'all can do in the next 2 years. In the next 2 years, if y'all learn some new skills, some new strategies, in the next 2 years, you can be incredibly wealthy, out of your minds wealthy in the next 2 years. Setting up those 4 things. You can have a better job. You can have some passive income. You can have some residual income, and you can have a hell of a portfolio being built in the next 2 years. That's 24 months, y'all. That's how the internet has created this space. The internet has created a space where you can literally collapse time. It took our grandparents 40 years to build a retirement. We can do it in 2 because of the internet. We got to get out there and hustle, y'all. We got to get out there and hustle. So that's going to do it for us today, man. I want y'all to do me a favor. Make sure y'all go to myoilsclub.com. Show some love to my sponsor. If you make a purchase of $100 or more, I'm going to show you some love by providing you a free vacation voucher. And guess what? myoils.com is going to give you the oils and everything that you need to look good out there on the beach. So until I talk to you guys next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.